It's day 19 of these 40 days of stewardship, which means we are almost halfway home, which means also that you're about to burn out, right? You're saying, man, you get on here every day and it's been a lot. And man, if you have been hanging with it since the beginning, it has been a lot. We've asked you to build a budget, which could have led to some difficult conversations in married couples and in families. It may have led to some difficult choices. I've asked you to give. I've asked you to save. I've asked you to pay off debt. And it's like every week we get on here and you ask us to do a little bit more. And I have. This week we've been talking about how to set goals for savings. But so because it's been so much, here's kind of what I want to do in this session and the next one. I want us to all do this right here. Whew, breathe a little bit. And let's just take something small and just re-emphasize it just a little bit, call some attention, maybe give you a new idea, because I know, man, change is hard to make. And there's always something inside of you that's going, you can't do this. And I'm telling you, you can. And the reason why we do these 40 days is because it takes a while to establish new habits. And you're in that uncomfortable mode right now where you're really having to challenge yourself. And so here is the one small step that I want to ask you to do today, and that is to just get rid of something that's draining you financially. What I really want to happen in this stewardship tip is this: for a little light bulb to come on and you to go, you know what? We really don't have to do that anymore. We can get rid of that. Let me remind you about the Bible verse that we read yesterday. It talks about in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4 through 5 about diligence. And diligence is intentionality and decision-making with consistency that makes a difference in the long run. Listen to what the Bible says here. It says, a slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. He who gathers in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps in harvest is a son who brings shame. So what is it that you don't really have to do? Something that if you got rid of it would make a difference in the long run? Let's go through a couple things. Let me give you some ideas. One, it may be something that you're making a consistent payment on, or it's something that you have a lot of upkeep costs to. Maybe it's a vacation home that you had, a camper. Maybe it's a motorcycle. Maybe it's some kind of ATV. Maybe it's a boat. I don't know what it is, but man, you used to really enjoy it and it was great. But maybe you don't use it a whole lot anymore, or maybe you're thinking, man, this is just a little bit more than we can chew off right now. And so maybe just, man, you get rid of that payment, sell it, and think about how you can start applying that money to some of your goals. And think about this one right here. First of all, I love sports, man. I love me some sports. I was an athlete growing up. I work with a football team now. But after I say this, you may not love me, but please just hear me out. There may be some sports that your kids are involved in that, man, it's just getting to be too much. You know, sometimes we as parents think that my kid has to have this competition team, my kid has to be on this travel team, and we feel guilty if they don't wake up every day of the weekend and have a game to play or a coach to go to, right? And you know what? We're shelling out $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to sustain this long season. It's just a tough grind of hotels and eating and traveling over weekends and all that kind of stuff. And you go from Friday to Monday, and by the time you go back to work on Monday, you are not only exhausted, but you are financially busted, right? And we think sometimes as parents that this is what we've got to do for our kids. And sometimes our kids are sitting there thinking, dude, if I could just have one weekend in the yard with like a tire swing and some friends, that would be amazing. It's not that your kid doesn't want to play that sport. It's probably that they just don't want to admit to you they don't want to play it that much. And so, you know what? Maybe a weekend in the yard and a tire swing hanging out there, it might save you about $4,000, right? So So think about some things like that maybe you don't have to have it or you don't have to do it. And it would be a great, diligent decision that with some consistency in the future makes a big difference for you in the long run. So think about that. Hey, listen, let's just slow your roll a little bit. Let's get rid of some stuff. Let's knock out a payment that gives us a little sweet taste of victory right now while we're just halfway home on these 40 days of stewardship.